Hi Scorpio, I hope that you're all doing well. We are here with a timeless reading. The first card that we have out is the High Priestess. And Two of Wands. That was the King of Swords. Okay. With the High Priestess and the Two of Wands, you can be feeling like you're at the point where the road splits. Having the High Priestess there, this can be something that maybe it's just more so you that is aware of this. It can be something that feels more like a private discussion with you and yourself, figuring out the next steps for you. You can be spending time zooming out here and like maybe looking for answers, or maybe looking for advice or wisdom, or like if some type of instinct is kicking on about sort of what's going on. It can be as a whole about what's going on, and then also in a more zoomed in perspective about like what to do next, or like where to go from here. And then having the King of Swords be here, this can be a time actually where there can be eventually a discussion about this. This can be a time too where there's some intuitive problem solving that's going on as well. This feels like thinking about it privately, figuring it out privately, and then if anybody else needs to know about what this is, that can be the time when a discussion happens. But I feel kind of like you figure out things mostly on your own first. Something about this is feeling difficult. I'm seeing the Nine of Swords here. This can mean like you're thinking about it and then you can feel like actually kind of overstimulated, or you can feel like you're getting really emotional to the point where you can feel like it's not making this process feel like very easy or clear. I am seeing though strength be connected with it. So I feel like this is about getting through a time when you can feel like it's hard to be in your head in a functional way, in an effective way, in a productive way. And then that can feel frustrating in and of itself, or that can feel kind of disheartening in and of itself. And then having strength there is about sort of persevering through this. I'm seeing that you want something and want to create something, but I'm also seeing the devil be connected to it. So this means that maybe you have to face some type of fear to get to the core of what you really want here. This can also mean on a surface level, the devil can sort of be hijacking something, meaning it can be influencing you in a way where it's telling you like you want this, you want that, and then that's not going to be like what you're looking for on a deeper level. Devil is going next to King of Swords. King of Swords is the part of you that can see through this. So devil is something that can come through and affect your logic and your way of thinking and sort of cloud your vision. King of Swords is your intelligence, how you can tap into that and how you can cut through the illusion of the devil, even though it can be something that's having like quite a strong force or quite a strong effect on you. This can be like a deep attachment that's connected to this, like emotionally, but it can be just that, an attachment. Like it can be something where if we don't take a closer look at it, we can convince ourselves that it's love, and when you take that closer look at it, you're going to see that it's actually something else. I get almost maybe an anxiety about having to do something on your own or being like, can I do that? And even though I'm seeing you're able to, it can be something that just stresses you out. This can also be about like what's going to be taking place too, and about like outcome related things. And so even though I'm seeing things are going to be all right, there can still be the unknown part of this that's connected. I feel kind of like you have to do something here, but it's not feeling like an easy thing to do. And even though I'm seeing you capable of doing this, I feel like because of what's going on in your head right now, it may make it very difficult. It's like if the magician within you has no static on the line, it's very easy to connect and to make things happen, follow the steps, to be organized mentally. But because of what's going on, I feel like there's some type of like heightened energy mentally and emotionally, and it can feel like it puts a lot of static on the line, and you can feel too like you almost aren't thinking clearly because of that. And I also feel like there's something going on an emotional level where there's pain that's connected with the process. We're starting with the High Priestess, we're ending with the Three of Swords. High Priestess is connected with the moon. This is connected with the things that you're thinking and feeling, and sort of like what's going on, how things are being narrated, sort of your perception of things. And then having Three of Swords, you can feel like this is something that it's reminding me of a feeling of like watching a movie, okay, where watching a movie or a show or something on TV where you feel like you can be fully present and fully focused, versus trying to do that when you have a brain splitting migraine, and how that pain really takes away and makes fuzzy like your ability to focus and tune in. It's like this very noisy distraction. I'm seeing that be happening. So even though the High Priestess is there and I feel like the show is on and you can see what's happening, I feel like that Three of Swords is making it difficult to tune into that, because it feels like it's really overstimulating, and I feel like you need quiet concentration when it feels like that's not just automatically what's happening within the environment, because there's something going on and it feels like it splits your attention, like it takes some of that energy towards it. Also, something that I'm remembering too is that when I was shuffling the deck before the reading started, I was noticing there being this resistance to like resting, to settling, to grounding. So there may be something going on where maybe you're like doing the opposite of stillness when there actually might be stillness needed here. I feel too like you really need to be strong and do your thing, but it can feel difficult to do just because of what you're facing. Like, even though I'm seeing you very much be capable of doing this, you're dealing with something really heavy here. And it can feel just so difficult to move through this time. Like, even though I feel like you know what you want and you know what to do here, this very big, painful headache feels like, I don't know, when something like this is coming up, maybe there's a feeling of like that temptation to get rid of something immediately, even though it's going to return, versus to handle this properly. But then it may feel like you really have to come face to face with the pain. And that can be something that there's a part of you that feels like, who wants to do that, you know? Even though we can all love what it feels like on the other side of that, but for right now, that cannot be where you're at. Like, you're in the middle of this right now, and so it feels like you're still going through the difficult parts of this before you get to the easier parts of this. Like, you're still going up the hill. And once you get to the top of the hill, it's going to be downhill from there, and it's going to be much easier. There won't be that resistance, but you're like at the I feel like you're very close to being to the top, but like it's like at the top things get most intense, and so I feel like you're at extreme intensity right now. And even though it will be well worth it, it just feels like not in your right state of mind because of this, which I think that's really important, seeing that resistance to the Four of Swords, because Four of Swords may actually be the key to help you get through this. Like you may need to take more time for yourself. You may need to be more still right now. You may need to give yourself time to sort of recharge, and that be really important so you can complete this process, and then it's not going to be a thing so much anymore. But I really do feel like this is something that is extremely difficult on an emotional level for you, and extremely difficult on a level of like consciousness. Like it somehow is impacting that and like your perception and whatnot. And even though it's just a lens, it feels like it's a very influential lens. And you can even feel too like you're grappling with your humanity here on a very deep level, and you sort of, I think, know in a way how to move through this, but it can feel kind of like everything goes down the drain when you're in that actual situation, you know? And even though I'm seeing you be very, very keen and very skilled and very able to cut through this, it takes some very focused, deep application here. And that can be something that like you really have to will that to happen. And if you're not, it can feel like you're becoming overpowered by something, kind of like pushed out of the way, and then that thing takes over here, when that doesn't need to be the case and you're able to work with this energy. Yeah, it can feel extremely strenuous to do, and it can feel like this really impacts a very, very sensitive part of yourself, a very vulnerable part of yourself. And I feel just like the pain in general, like having the devil there can be like, well, if you just hand it over to me, I'll get rid of it for you. And at the same time, it's not really going to resolve anything. And you know that too. I'm getting that you know that, but it doesn't make it any, it doesn't take away the temptation of knowing that something painful can immediately be gotten rid of, you know? Like you can know it's not a terminal solution, and at the same time, there can be a part of you that's like, I could just like put that off and not have to experience it. And I feel like you're at like peak intensity here within this. You can feel though that you would sacrifice something on a deeper level if you were to go that route, however. And you could even feel like you're maybe like throwing something important away, only to like rediscover it if you end up doing that. So for now, it feels kind of like being faced with the choice of how you're going to move through this. I feel like you're going to have to really rise above in order to do it. However, I'm not seeing it be anything like beyond what you're capable of by any means. I'm seeing you be able to. There's just like a lot of willpower, which you do have. I feel like if we're talking about very strong signs here, I feel like Scorpio is extremely, extremely, extremely strong. And so I feel like when you have that type of, this can be really requiring a lot of discipline and willpower, because Scorpio is a sign that's connected with like deep psychology and whatnot. I feel like this is matching your energy in some ways, and there's kind of this like fighting for power a bit here of like what's going to sort of take over here. Is it going to be you, or is it going to be this thing that you're sort of going to bend the knee to? What do you want to do? And it feels like you may have to really fight to get in touch with your perseverance, willpower. And that it very much is something that you're capable of. It just can You're in the process of finding it. This is the thing that's blocking you from what you want. You move through this and things are going to fall into place in a way that they won't until this block is removed. I'm seeing the moon, I'm seeing Mercury, I'm seeing Leo, and I'm seeing Capricorn here. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I'd like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.